guys, welcome to lesson 38, graphing linear equations, and we will be using the standard form of the equations. Now, up until this point, you guys have been working with the slope-intercept form, which looks like y equals mx plus b. So this would be the equation that we're going to work with in slope-intercept form. Okay? In this lesson, we're going to learn about standard form. Now, standard form looks like ax plus by equals c. And there's a few rules that we have with standard form. The first rule is that a, b, and c are all integers. That means no fractions and no decimals, okay? They can be positive, they can be negative, and they can be zero, okay? So you can have a negative integer, you can have 0, or you can have a positive integer. The next rule that you need to know is that a is always greater than 0. So a is greater than 0, okay? All right. So now that we've got that, what we're going to do is figure out how to change our slope-intercept to standard form. Okay? And I'll use a red marker just to make it easy to see. Okay. So I have y equals negative 2/3 x minus 5. Well, it says over here I can't have fractions. So I have to figure out how am I going to get rid of the fraction over here. Well, if I have negative 2/3 x, how do I get rid of that 3 in the denominator? I will multiply both sides by 3. So I will say 3 times y equals 3 times negative 2/3 x minus 5. Okay? 3 times y is 3y. And I'm going to do this right here just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. So I have, and I'm going to put the x out here. So 3 times negative 2 over 3, this cancels out, gives me 1, 1. And then minus 5 times 3. Okay? That gives me 3y equals negative 2x minus 15. Okay, so I got rid of the fraction. Okay? The next thing I need to do, I'm still trying to get it to this. So first I'll get it to here, and then I'll see if my a is greater than 0. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. Oops, put this over here. That gives me 2x plus 3y equals negative 15. Okay, so this is my answer in standard form, where 2 is A, 3 is B, and negative 15 is C. I'm going to check my answer against these requirements, okay? Are A, B, and C all integers? Well, 2 is an integer, it's a positive integer. 3 is a positive integer, and negative 15 is a negative integer, so I have all integers. Do I have any fractions? Nope, we took care of that already. Do I have any decimals? This problem didn't have any decimals. I didn't have to worry about that. The last thing is a, which would be my coefficient in front of x. Is it greater than 0? Well, it's 2, and 2 is greater than 0. I'm going to do one more little thing here, just so that you can see how this A, B, C, and everything works out. So in this right here, A would be the same thing as 2, because see, 2 and A are in the same place. They're right before the x. 3 and B are in the same place. They're at the coefficient before y. And then C, right here, and negative 15, they go together. Okay? So I can see that my equation has been done properly. Okay. Now the next thing that they're going to show you is how to graph with this. Okay. I am going to erase this side. And then I'm going to write this back up here because this is the standard form that we're working with. Some letter number times x plus some number times y equals c. Alright. So if I'm going to graph this, I can stick in a 0 for 2, so I have 2x plus 3y equals negative 15. If I put in a 0 right here for x, that cancels out, so 2 times 0 is 0. So then I have 3y equals negative 15. Okay, so 3y equals negative 15, divide both sides by 3, y equals negative 5. Okay. Now I'm going to put in a 0 for y. And that tells me 2x plus 0 equals negative 15. I can divide that by 2. That's going to give me a fraction. I'm going to get 7 and a half. Actually, negative 7 and a half. Okay, and then I really want to do one more point just to make sure I'm doing this right. So I'm going to put in, if I do a 5, I'm trying to figure out an easy answer. Maybe I'll just do a 1 for y. And then that would be negative 18, so then that should be negative 9. So if I did 2x plus 3 times 1 equals negative 15, 2x plus 3 equals negative 15, subtract 3 from both sides, 2x equals negative 18, divide both sides by 2 and I get negative 9. Okay, so now I'm going to graph my points. I have 0, negative 5, negative 7 and a half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll put it right in between there. And then I have, that was 7, 8, negative 9, 1. So actually, oh wow, did you see me? I just like totally tried to miss those. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so there's my line. Okay? And so you can see how to put things in standard form and how to graph using standard form. It's just another way of doing graphing. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to do another one. Here's the one that they give you as an example. They want you to write this in standard form. So we have 3/5 x plus y minus 1 equals 0. So I already have my x and my y on one side, and they're both positive. My x is positive, and that's what I want. And then I'm just going to add 1 to both sides to get my c over here. Because this right here, okay. Now I want to get rid of my fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Okay, so 5 times 3/5, that would cancel out. That gives me 3x plus 5 times y equals 5. And that right there would be my answer. Okay? And then if we were, do they want you to graph it? Yep, they'll have you graph a different one. So, okay. So I'll show you how to graph that. So if I put in a 0 for x, it would be 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 5. So that gives me 5y equals 5. Y equals 1. So when x is 0, y is 1. Okay? Now let's say that I want to put in a 1 for x. Okay? So that gives me 3 plus 5y equals 5. Subtract 3 from both sides. 5y equals 2. Divide both sides by 5. Y equals 2/5. Alright, and then I'm going to do one more. I'll do a 2 for x. 6 plus 5y equals 5. Subtract 6 from both sides. It's negative 1/5. Okay. 0, 1. 1, 2/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be 1 would be right here. And then negative 1. I'm just going to divide that up into 5 pieces. And then that's 2, negative 1/5. And you can see that there is definitely a line right there. See if I can draw it through. Okay. And that's how they do that. And that looks like that's the majority of the work in here. Okay? Thank you.